I'm Hot Rod Bob, and you've got Gas, a special edition with a very special guest today. Now, it's been a long time since we've done an in-studio type situation, and this is in his studio right now. But we're going to tell you all about Mike here because he's got some great history. For those of you who are into cars like I am, I'm, as you know, Hot Rod Bob. And remember, you've got Gas, a special edition. Drag racing is what fostered hot rodding. You got hot rods, but they went racing. They formalized it by making drag racing. And this gentleman alongside me here, Mike Uribe.
Yes, sir.
He is one of the pioneers of drag racing. And we're going to let him tell you more about him and an organization he belonged to. And now, when were you part of the Bean Bandits?
About 1950. Well, first I was a compounder. Mm-hmm. And then the war broke out, and the guys went in service, and instead of being a compounder, they wanted to change the name.
Okay.
So they took voting, different names, Taco Twirler, Taco something, So one guy, Billy Gelvin, says, "How about Bean Bandits?" Nah. The guy said, "Well, you know what? Now we grew up there in the Logan Heights area of San Diego. Went to high school, grammar school, junior high, all the time, and we used to get together at somebody's house and become grease monkeys. Right. Working on your car, hood was up, typical kid stuff. And so we organized the club as compounders at first, but then the war broke out. They said the guys disappeared in service, and he said, one guy said, "Well, let's start another club or a different name, same guys, different name." So guys took a vote. And they decided to call it Bean Bandits. I voted for it, and that's what we had. So it was about 1950. What was it now? I forgot that. Because several times I was also a commercial fisherman. Okay. And I was gone. But the guys still had meetings, and when I would come in from a trip, I would go to the meetings and join the guys. Okay. And if they went to the lakes or El Mirage, and start racing, trying to do what we had to do. And Joaquin, our president at the time, and then later on Mike Nagum. And Joaquin was an innovator. He was a genius with what he'd done. He can get a torch and piece of metal and form anything you wanted. Wow. And then as far as fuel, he made his own combination. And we were racing other guys, and they couldn't understand why we were beating them. And the whole story tells you about how we were doing things it was a backyard garage. That's what it was. Right. But that's all the guys get together and we formed the club. And he says, "Well, let's start a club." And then the guy says, "Okay, well then how are we going to do this?" So I said, "Just get a coffee can, put your nickels and dimes in it, and that will help Joaquin for the parts and whatever we need." So that's how we got going and got organized. And from there, we started racing and beating different people from different areas, and the club made a name for himself.
All right, tell me about the first car, the car that you worked on.
The first car I worked on?
Yeah.
Okay, I was 13 years old when I bought my first car. I had a 39 Ford Coupe. I bought it from a friend of mine. I used to work in a grocery store, and he said, "Okay, Mike, how much you want for the car?" I asked him. He said, "Well, $500. Well, I don't have that kind of money. He said, "Well, $50 down, $50 a month." Oh, that worked good. So you trusted your own friends,
Yeah.
So I saw my first car was 39, and I was going to senior high school. I was curious what made this engine work. So I pulled the engine out of at my house. I made my own tripod, and you could come along, pull the engine out, took it all apart. And then my uncle was in a service, but he was on leave at the time. He says, "Mike, whenever you put an engine together, use new rings because they expand."
Right.
Okay, so I got new rings, put it in there, and started racing the car, started hot riding around the streets. And we had a good time, and that was my first car, was a 39 Ford Coupe.
All right, then you went to the Bean Bandits. What kind of car did they have? And
at that time, everybody more or less had their own cars. Okay. Not everybody, and we just was dragging the streets, like Paradise Mesa, down in that area there. The streets were kind of empty, like Camp Pendleton. And so we started, well, let's get organized and start our A club with one car. And it'll be our car. That won't be my car. And that's how it works. He says, "This is it's our car."
The club car.
But Joaquin was the main man in doing all the work, body work, fender work, and welding, and then mechanical work. We were just like the grease monkeys. They're helping them out, and that's how we got it going. So wherever we went as a group. Now the guys want to get into the club, but they just want to get in because the club was making a name for itself locally.
Right.
And little by little, we started getting it recognized.
Okay.
And I guess like Wally Parks recognized them, and we formed the club as a Bean Bandit club. And then we got invited to different areas and different venues that start racing other guys. And they were astonished. Here comes not a Mickey Mouse, but a home-built car.
Yeah.
And started beating everybody. So, it surprised everybody.
Good.
And I wasn't around because I become a fisherman for a while, and the guys would go back east and buy at different places. And I even met some kids here in L.A., and when I saw the dragsters, I remember that. My dad used to talk about this car all the time. The kids were from Illinois or something like that. Hey, Bean Bandit, So the guys got recognized in those areas. One time I went to Colorado and went to Brandomere Raceway, and having that Bean Bandit t-shirt. Guys were coming at me, where can I get a t-shirt? Where can I get I don't care. I don't have them with me, but can you order me one? Sure. Well, here, how much are they? I says, $15. Here, I write you out a check. What makes you think I'm going to send you the shirt? He said, no, we trust you. You might be a Bean Bandit, but you're not a crook. So anyway, they gave me the money, and I sent them the t-shirts, and they responded by writing, thank you. And even John Brandomere was there, and I talked to him. And, you're Bean Bandit, huh? So we was recognized. The Bean Bandit was getting a name for themselves. So that was real good for us.
All right, now, the first dragster that you worked on with the club dragster, what did it have for power? What kind of an engine?
We used to use mostly flathead Fords. And sometimes maybe, because we had one of our guys had a junkyard. And he had all kinds of engines there. And we used to just get Joaquin would get them and clean them up real good. So once in a while I'd put always changing motors. We started out with a flathead, so that's the way we used to do it. And another time somebody started with, I forgot his name, he's a movie actor. Anyway, he had twin engines one time.
Wow.
And anyway, Joaquin done the same thing too. Put engines together and we raced them. And then we used to get a coupe or a sedan body, take the engine out of the coupe, put it in a different class.
Okay.
So here we go. Go down. The guys couldn't believe it. Here we are, a bunch of guys by hand pick up the motor and take it in, take it out. But that's the way we operated. It's nothing fancy.
But you had fun.
Oh, that was nothing but fun.
Now you're a little older than I am, and how long have you been racing?
Since I was 14.
14.
Well,
so
I was
10, 15 years now, right?
Yeah. There's a picture of me, but I don't have it now. I got one with 32 coupe Roadster.
We'll take some pictures of that a little bit later.
Well, I used to, like I said, I worked on my 39 Ford, just in the streets out there in San Diego. Against other guys just at the airport down there by La Mesa. And we just got a bunch of guys, whoever you were. So we raced together. That's my starting beginning, Then nothing, no flags, no starter, just somebody with an arm and take one guess.
Okay, one guess?
The one guess only.
I have enough trouble guessing my own age with one guess. One guess, 85.
I'll shake your hand, but you're wrong.
Oh, good.
Should I give you one more chance?
Sure, why not? Am I too high or am I too low?
Too low.
I'm too low? Oh, gosh.
That's my son.
Oh, I don't want to overestimate. 88?
You're still wrong.
Still low? Oh, well, you definitely are a pioneer then because, all right, 1952 was the first year, or 51 was the first year of NHRA.
Uh-huh.
So that's organized drag racing.
Right.
To try and get you guys off the streets. Now, the club I belong to was formed in 52. Bean Bandits were around before then.
When we started with FCTA, Southern California Timing Association.
Okay.
And then also we were the Rosetta Timing.
Wow.
You remember Rosetta?
Yeah, I remember Rosetta.
Okay, we belonged to Rosetta Timing.
Oh,
we got associated with Rosetta before we went into FCTA.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to get you. You've got a picture over there. I'll have to take a picture of that a little bit later on with you and Iski. If we put you, Iski, and Alex Exidius together, we know where all the bodies were buried. Because you guys are the history of this. And I remember seeing the Bean Bandits when I was a kid, and watching it, reading about you guys in magazines, seeing the pictures. I was up at Bonneville a few years ago, and there was a whole group of guys, and someone I know is a member of the Bean Bandits now. But you have a legacy that is what drag racing and hot rodding was all about. It wasn't about the big buck sponsors. It wasn't about the big money people. It was about you, the grassroots racers. I mean, everyone. My car club had their own club dragster. But you guys, you did it yourself. It wasn't a matter of high tech and expensive bubble wrap parts. If you didn't have it, you made it.
You made it, right.
And you went to the junkyard and you got it.
Right.
That's just not what's being done today.
No, I know it. It was high tech.
You guys have fun. You guys you guys made. You cleared the path for the guys today.
Well, just like I said earlier, Wally Park said, Joaquin, you, and are the hot rod, the beginnings of hot rod.
Yeah.
The beginnings of hot rodding, and I'll never forget that. But also, Rosetta Bean Company tried to want to sponsor us.
Oh.
Of course, Joaquin said to me, or talked to the guy, says, no, I don't want no sponsorship like that because I don't want to be controlled. That way I can do what I want to do when I want to do it. So
sure.
We never had no sponsors. We didn't
have a club car by that point, but and then dues. We paid.
We get paid dues too. I think it was 50 cents or whatever. And then after that, when we had meetings, you just put whatever you had in your pocket in the kitty.
Yeah.
And no matter who you were, how can I get in? Or maybe you had a friend, and so and so wants to get in. Well, okay, come on, put me money in the kitty. And that was it. And as far as people talk more today about the different colors, we had no barrier.
Right.
Whatever color you were, we didn't care. As long as you put me in the kitty and join the club and join us out there in the field. You want to get a can full of grease? You're welcome. Change tires.
You started, and
Not to mention, he started with a twin engine car one time. And so Joaquin done the same thing. That's when he made twin engines on the car. So he's competing with Tommy Ivo, And I just remember the name,
Yeah, Ivo's, he's still kind of active. We see him. He's the night crawler or the vampire. He doesn't get up till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but he's up till 4 o'clock in the morning. In the stories that he tells, I mean...
Two welded together in a body. And then later on, when it started getting the drag racing started to kind of fade out a little bit, it went into land speed.
Right.
So then Joaquin made land speed. You can see this up there. He made that by hand.
Wow.
And all formed by hand. And whatever engine you wanted to run, you drop it in and Chrysler, mostly Chrysler on that one.
Okay.
Yeah. While we were going to happen,
now you got to have the big bucks to go after George Poteet.
Well, see, all these guys, if you watch some of these races on TV, everything is on a computer. So the motor's not running right, the truck takes the computer. We used to get a stick and put it against it.
High tech. And you didn't have the expense.
No, we didn't.
You did it within your means. And you did it as good, if not better.
Yeah, and whatever you had, like we said, put it in the kitty. We buy tires, or we had sometimes one of the guys, I forget which one, but anyway, his wife or somebody bought a whole set of tires for the car. People like that would donate.
Okay.
Another guy, one of our guys, he got a great big sheet of aluminum, so they can work on making a new car, the floorboard or whatever. And then Joaquin, to roll the metal, he'd have his wife get in the car and he'd put the metal on the ground and put a pipe and roll it. And so to his what he wanted. After it was all rolled, then he'd mark it and cut it and then shape it and form it.
Not only were you the pioneers, but you guys were the craftsmen. You were the guys that did it out of necessity, as well as the love of the sport and the hobby. Now, how many members were in Bean Bandits back in the day?
I got this roster here.
I kind of figured that.
We were invited to his club over in Ventura. That's why it's got the name right there. But all these guys are the club. Most of them I got them marked that are no longer around.
Right. Bernie Griggs, Roger Harrison, Chris Haven, Jerry Fritas, Pat Duran, Val Cervantes, Jerry Bales, Joaquin Arnett.
Yeah.
Familiar name.
Yeah.
Jeff Arnett.
Jeff Arnett, that's the son.
Yeah.
And then Sonny Arnett was the one that was most of the time driving. But earlier days when we were hot rodding, it was a guy named Carlos Ramirez.
Yeah.
They drove the car most of the time. Joaquin would drive it too, but he let Carlos do most of the driving.
What was your main function? What was your job?
My job was just to make sure that the tires, just all around grease monkey, you might say. Just
Yeah, you were the crewman.
I was part of the, I was crew.
Yeah.
I was a crewman. That's the right word. Yeah, I was. Well, you just got in there and cut yourself a rag, or help the guy with the tire. Yeah.
And you guys learned by doing.
Doing everything.
You didn't have formal training.
No.
You didn't go to tech schools.
No, my school was a high school, but I was working on my own car.
Right.
But other than that, though, that was it. It was more.
So you got a very famous list of members, the guys that learned. Anyone move up to a pro rank or?
No. We were all stayed just locally and just hot riding for fun.
That kept it fun.
They never made a fortune or nothing.
You made a fortune in friendships.
Well, that's true. That's true. But all these guys here, some I met, some I didn't, and some are gone. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, we were invited one time to over in Ventura.
Primer Nationals, Johnny.
Primer Nationals, yes, sir. Very familiar.
We ended up going to. It's no longer called Primer Nationals. They call it the Ventura Nationals now.
Yeah.
But we ended up going to that because Johnny can hear it from his backyard. But the people that started this club and the pictures I've seen of the club car, and I've seen the club car. Probably saw it when you were taking it out to Bob's. I've seen it in shows. But the people that made this club because of love. The love of the hobby and each other. Because you guys, I'm sure you had your spats between each other.
Oh, naturally. Guys.
Yeah, you guys.
We never did fight. We just found each other off. You know? Hey, went back, this and that, things like that, but we didn't take it to heart.
No. You had you said your piece, you did your thing, and you moved on.
It was all in fun.
Yeah, well, kind of, somewhat. But and how long were you part of the Bean Bandits actively?
Well, all the time. But of course, like I said, I was a commercial fisherman, and I went in and out. But when they were having a meeting, and I was in port and home, then I'd go to the meetings. But if they had to go to a race, and I was on my way out, I couldn't go.
Couldn't go.
Every chance I got,
But you stayed as a member.
Oh, yes, sir.
You stayed as a member, and even today?
Even today.
Even today.
What's left of us, yes.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. The Bean Bandits, a heck of a legacy. Did you ever get to drive?
No, because we just had, of course, you have to pass inspection by, SCTA or Rosetta. Either Sonny, Arnett, Joaquin, and Carlos Ramirez. And I think one other guy might have been, but most of the driving was done by Sonny.
Okay.
As Joaquin quit racing as a driver, so Sonny, his son, was a main driver.
Wow. And the fastest the Bean Bandit car had ever gone, 380?
I think it was 388, close to it,
388.
That's when a car blew up and killed him.
Yeah, I unfortunately remember that situation.
But prior to that, he had another accident.
Yeah.
The tire blew out and the car rolled over, but he come out of it. But Joaquin was after Altigue's record.
All right, between Bonneville, SCTA, and NHRA drag racing, which did you like the best?
Well, I never got to see the higher ups. I was just our club,
Yeah.
Well, Well, we got along with them, whoever was in charge of the organization.
Yeah.
We got along real good with them. I mean, they treated us real good, and there was no, that I know of, there was no problems.
No, which one did you like that? Which type of racing did you like best?
Well, I like drag racing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wow.
And then our guys right there in the middle there.
And Johnny's showing you some of all the memorabilia and such that you've got, the Bean Bandits. And that is a club with a legacy that very few can say they've got.
Yeah.
And you were part of it. That in itself is...
Yeah, like I said, now
you
there's
can't buy that.
Now I think there's maybe 4, 5, maybe 6 at the most, and are right here. And the rest are all gone.
But the Bean Bandits Club continues on with younger guys.
Well, no, no.
Doesn't it?
No.
No?
Not one. After we lost Sonny, Joaquin took it, well, we all took it real hard.
Yeah.
And then later on, his wife passed away, and Jeff, the son, didn't want to carry on.
Okay.
So that was it. That club just kind of just dissolved.
All right, Steve Gibbs is going to be putting on the Nitro Revival down at Irwindale Drag Strip.
Okay, I've been to this one.
When you come this year, I'm the guy there in the tower talking about it all. Please come to the tower and join us.
Yeah, sure.
Please.
Sure.
And
yeah, I know Steve Gibbs too.
yeah, Steve, yeah, everyone knows Steve. God, what is he? 50 years with NHRA. I mean,
yeah.
And he's still going strong.
Yeah.
He's an amazing guy. Actually, I'm going to see him a week from next. We're going to Bowling Green for the Hot Rod reunion.
I'll give him my regards.
I will. Yeah. I definitely will.
Yeah, I don't think he's forgotten me because I talked to him several times. Because one time I needed Richard Sparks' phone number, so I called Steve and he gave it to me. Because I keep in touch earlier. I keep in touch with Richard and see how he's doing because his health is not too good. Mm. Other than that, it's, like I said, the guys that are here are they're mostly all gone. And then there was some that was just they were just members, but they didn't go to the races like the few ones they did. And you mentioned Jerry Freitas.
Yeah.
Well, he's a friend of mine too. He passed away. He lived over here in Oxnard, I think it was. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he used to he come in late into the club. Okay. Not there. Some of these guys are still original, and some of they're newcomers. They want to join.
My car club's going to have a show in Johnny Carson Park a week from this Saturday, I think, or Sunday. A week from Sunday. Come out. Some of those guys that you may remember from those days, like Bob Maravis with the Freight Train.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy Ivo.
Tommy Ivo, yeah.
And they're going to be there. I think it'd be great. And we'll do the same thing there.
Okay.
We're going to be doing some live broadcasts from there.
Well, just give me the address and all that. And
Johnny Carson Park in Burbank. Right next to St. Joe's and the old NBC.
We'll put that on.
Yeah, but please, if you can make it, it's a free car show. We've already got 200 entries. Probably have another couple hundred cars show up at least. But we'd love to have you there, and you'll see some of these guys that you made history with.
Oh, sure, it'd be nice.
And I know they'd love to see you again.
See, even my son, because he got in an accident. This is his car right here.
Oh, Mustang. Yeah.
He used to race that car. He was a school teacher at the LA Trade Tech.
Yeah. And my old track, LA County Raceway, LACR. It was weekends at Bernie's, we used to call it. I was there for 20 years. So, Mike.
Man, nice to meet you. Thank you very much for the visit. Yeah. Well, Richard, we call him Joy. He told me all about it. I'm glad.
I love all the stuff you've gone through. You set the stage for what we do today. And that is something that no one else is going to be able to do. There are no history makers today that are going to say they started drag racing. Yeah. You did. You started it.
Like I said, we started way back, and the whole history's right there back at high school, just high school get-togethers. Get out of here, will you?
Oh, you're fine.
And then the rest of the old-timers way down at the bottom.
Yeah. Bonneville, no, this is the full history of the Bean Bandits. Wow. It says a little bit, but look at how big it is. Look at all the words. Look at all the pictures. That tells you so much.
Yeah. And his wife, his wife was, I think her and her daughter wrote all this up.
Wow.
They were into pretty heavy.
That's great. All right. I'm Hot Rod Bob. You've had GAAS, the Great American Auto Scene, coming to you live with Mike Uribe. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again.
What size shirt do you wear?